Bonjour, monsieur. Merci. We're here in Geneva. This is one of the many cities that has the United Nations. Here in Geneva, the UN has many of its specialized agencies. For example, you have human rights, refugees, International Telecommunications Union, but you have one called the UN Conference on Trade and Development. And this is important because it's an institution that deals with policy. And because it deals with development policy and trade policy, there are many presidents really see UNCTAD as an important institution. Not only that, the President Fernandez's foundation, the Global Foundation for Democracy and Development, FUNGLODE, or Fundación Global Democracia y Desarrollo, FUNGLODE has an affiliation with UNCTAD as full consultative status. So we're here at a conference that's really important. It's dealing with commodities and development. And we've been asked to present. Today's the second and last day of the conference, and what we found is that the other panelists are a little bit lost because they really don't understand financial markets, particularly futures commodities markets. The Dominican Republic, for example, is a country just like other members of Petrocaribe, basically Caribbean nations that are really suffering from the increasing price of oil. The Dominican Republic has taken the time, President Fernandez's government, but also his foundation, FUNGLODE, has taken the time to learn more about what is excessive speculation in these financial markets. So what you're going to have, what we'll see today, are governments and experts. This is an experts meeting. They're experts on commodities. And they're basically governments that they're located here. Their headquarters are here. They're based in missions in Geneva. Like yesterday, they've been trying to prove why market fundamentals are the reason that the price of oil or the price of commodities and food have increased. And it's really not only an issue of supply and demand. Supply and demand does play a role, but what's really playing a major role in the increase in the price of oil is speculation by speculators. People who have no intention of receiving oil, they buy it on credit, so they don't even have the money, but there are hedge funds, pension funds that are pumping a lot of money into commodities futures markets, and they are driving the price up. When you buy something, it shows a demand. In that sense, demand does play a role. What a lot of these professors, experts, and governments are talking about is market fundamentals and how, for example, that China is using too much oil because of its economic growth, or it's using more and more oil each day, and they think that that's the reason for the increase in the price of oil. And it's not the only reason. And actually, we're going to show today in our presentation that in the beginning of 2008, world supply of oil actually increased while demand decreased, and the price of oil still went up. But we're here in the United Nations. It's the center where all the experts come. New York is more political. Geneva is more technical, more specialized. And we'll see today what happens with the presentation. I'm a little nervous, but I think yesterday, having sat through the sessions and realizing that a lot of the people are a little bit lost with respect to this issue, hopefully we can have a good dialogue and see what they think about it.
Our next speaker, Mr. John Gagin, who is the Director of Global Studies of the Fundación Global y Desarrollo of the Dominican Republic. Mr. Gagin is also an advisor to the President of the Dominican Republic. Sir, you have the floor.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to thank you and Mr. Thomas for giving me the opportunity to brief you here today. I'd also like to ask the Secretariat if they can turn the lights on. I'd rather you be able to see me than the PowerPoint. However, I think the PowerPoint, because it's in white, you can easily see it. So if you can turn the lights on a little brighter, I'd appreciate it. Mr. Chairman, the title of my presentation is Struggling with Commodity Price Swings as a Challenge to the Achievement of the Millennium Development Goals. What about this changing state of globalization and our ability to respond? First, globalization continuously changes. These changes have provoked grave challenges to our institutions at all levels. They are occurring at a greater velocity each day. The constant changing state of globalization impedes our ability to respond. So much so that our analysis of globalization does not seem to keep up with its changing state. There seems to be a knowledge gap, especially when we consider recent developments in commodities markets. For example, UNCTAD 12 was an important milestone in addressing opportunities and challenges of globalization for development. However, what is shockingly surprising is that the UNCTAD Declaration, whose purpose was to underscore globalization's development opportunities, actually highlighted as positive one of the greatest threats to development, the rising prices of basic goods, or as we call them here, the commodities boom. Article 7 states that rising food prices present a unique opportunity to promote economic growth and sustainable development. But the commodities boom is not an opportunity. It has become today's greatest obstacle to achieving the Millennium Development Goals. Almost any head of state will tell you that prosperity depends upon bringing down the price of food and other basic necessities. They will tell you that we need to combat excessive speculation in the commodities futures markets, and they will tell you that the cost of petroleum has choked our economies. It has strangled our important utilities like electricity and water. The cost of petroleum has sent inflationary shocks all throughout almost everyone's economy.